this course, you will learn about suggestive selling. This is not the same as upselling. Suggestive selling is a sales technique taking into account your guest's specific needs and preferences and not aggressively pushing for a sale. We maximize the guest's experience by suggesting an additional item that complements their order. We do this by educating them about different products instead of trying to make a hard sell. In this course, we will learn more about this topic by looking at the importance of suggestive selling, as well as focusing specifically on how it relates to the food and beverage industry. We will look at the differences between suggestive selling and upselling, and at some great opportunities for implementing it. You will learn how to read the guest and understand the journey of suggestive selling. We will also have a closer look at the principles of suggestive selling. To be successful, you need to be prepared. We will therefore look at the importance of menu and beverage knowledge, pairing dishes with beverages successfully, using flavor words, texture words, and advanced menu knowledge. We will look at the execution of suggestive selling by starting right at the beginning with a welcome and seating, moving to aperitifs, the orientation, doing a fantastic menu presentation, following up and ending off with digestives and desserts. Then we will look at suggestive selling and how it can be a negative experience by focusing on the don'ts and looking at a few scenarios. Lastly, we will focus on advanced suggestive selling by looking at how we can serve repeat guests and how we can make sure we continuously improve their experience. You will learn that suggestive selling will improve guest loyalty, ensuring that guests return to your property again and again. You now have a basic idea of what suggestive selling is and why it is important in our business. In this lesson, we will look at defining upselling and the difference between upselling and suggestive selling. So, let's start with defining upselling. Upselling and suggestive selling are often used interchangeably. They are, however, not the same thing. Upselling is about taking what your guest has ordered and trying to make it bigger, a larger portion of their meal or beverage, or more expensive. We upsell to get the guests to spend more when they have already committed to purchase something. So, what is the difference between upselling and suggestive selling? In both cases, we are getting the guests to spend more money. However, while upselling is about getting a guest to spend more when they've already decided to buy, suggestive selling is about getting the guest to spend money on something they haven't thought of buying. An example of upselling would be if a guest ordered a small bottle of sparkling water. The colleague could then say, "May I recommend ordering a large bottle of sparkling water for the table?" An example of suggestive selling would be, "Welcome to Amber. May I recommend a bottle of sparkling water for the table?" The difference here is that the guests have not yet ordered anything and may not have thought of ordering water for the table. This recommendation then sparks their interest. Can you think of more examples of upselling versus suggestive selling? In the next lesson, we will look at opportunities for suggestive selling. Now that you know that suggestive selling is a sales technique, we can look closer at why it is important for your business by focusing on the following: revenue and guest satisfaction. Let's start with understanding the importance of suggestive selling in terms of revenue. Increased revenue is a natural benefit of successful suggestive selling. If a guest orders a gin and tonic, you would generally provide them with a house pour. However, if you give the guest options, For example, "Fantastic! We have several different gins on offer. My personal favorite is the Hendrix. It's flavored with Bulgarian rose and served with refreshing cucumber. What gin do you prefer?" You immediately remind the guest that there is more than one type of gin they could choose from, with an array of different flavors. They may then choose a brand of gin with a higher profit margin. This means a higher revenue for the company, which could translate into higher salaries in the long run. But how can more sales mean greater guest satisfaction? Suggestive selling is a great sales technique because it is not only focused on the hard sell. The focus is on making the guest's experience better. You can increase guest satisfaction in the following ways: by offering higher quality products, educating the guest, and offering complimentary products. An example could be offering a great cognac to a guest. They usually order brandy, and cognac is a slightly higher quality product. You have also explained some of the subtle flavors of the cognac to the guest, making them more aware of the drink they are consuming. This is part of educating the guest and enhancing their experience. You can also offer them a cigar to complement their whole experience. To complement something means to add to, enhance, or improve on something. To compliment means to praise or congratulate someone or something. In other words, not only should you offer your guests complimentary products, but you should also compliment the guest on their choices. It is also important to note that complimentary products shouldn't be confused with complimentary products. Complimentary products are free products provided to the guest with compliments by the hotel. By being successful in suggestive selling, you can be sure that your guest will walk away satisfied, trusting your recommendations, and that they will come back to your hotel for more fantastic service. Suggestive selling is important in all industries and is a valuable tool in business. In this lesson, we will have a look at opportunities for suggestive selling by looking at the guest's journey from when they arrive at the hotel. Arriving at the hotel. At the reception desk, the guests check in. The receptionist immediately sees an opportunity for suggestive selling. Can you think of an example? They can tell the guest about the facilities available at the hotel. For example, the restaurants that are available and the in-room dining offerings. The guest may have gone to restaurants outside of the hotel, but because the receptionist described the restaurants at the hotel in an appetizing, exciting way, the guest will now explore these options instead, keeping the revenues in the hotel. The concierge. What opportunity is there for suggestive selling? The guest will approach the concierge when they're looking for things to do and places to eat in the city. While the concierge must be able to suggest restaurants outside of the hotel, they should also promote the food and beverage offering in the hotel when it matches the guest request. Guests at the bar. At the bar, there are many opportunities for suggestive selling. Can you think of a few examples? The bartender can recommend a delicious cocktail to a guest. Or they can offer them an appropriate cognac if you've noticed they've enjoyed a specific kind of brandy. If the guest has been at the bar for a while, you could present them with a bar menu to ease their hunger. Guests at the humidor. While a guest is enjoying a cognac in the humidor, there is an opportunity for suggestive selling. The guest could be offered a range of amazing cigars to complement their cognac, and if the colleague has great product knowledge, they can upsell the cognac to an Armagnac to complement the specific cigar they have chosen. Guests in the lounge. If you see a guest sitting in the lounge reading a newspaper, what could you offer them to make their experience better? You could, for example, offer them a cappuccino. The guest will be amazed by your anticipatory service. Guests at the restaurant. From the moment your guests arrive, you can make recommendations that will enhance their dining experience. A few examples are: offering a bottle of still or sparkling water for the table when they are seated, and recommending some exciting cocktails, suggesting that the guests order starters, and recommending some signature dishes and specials. You can get the guests excited about dessert and recommend that they enjoy it with a delicious digestif or a smooth cup of coffee. When guests come to enjoy a meal at our restaurant, there are multiple opportunities for suggestive selling and upselling every time they order a beverage or another dish. It is up to you to use your product knowledge and personality to encourage the guest to order more items from you. Special occasions. Some guests may enjoy your service and the offerings at the hotel so much that they will come back for special occasions, such as anniversary dinners or even weddings. At special occasions, such as a birthday or anniversary dinner, you can recommend that the guests order a celebratory bottle of bubbly, or for a couple celebrating their anniversary, you can recommend flowers that can be ordered from the florist in the hotel. Guests with children. Be sure to make child-friendly recommendations. If children are happy, comfortable, and taken care of, the parents are more likely to stay longer and, therefore, order more items from the menu.